guys, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and today we're taking a quick trip to Epcot with a new mini episode in my Exploring Future World series, a complete look at the Land Pavilion. This is a big pavilion in Future World, so let's not waste any more time and jump right in. As usual, I want to start by looking at 5 fast facts about the land. As I mentioned in my previous episode in this series, the land has origins to Tony Baxter's Discovery Bay concept, just like the Imagination Pavilion. In the late 1970s, Baxter had an idea for an expansion at Disneyland that would take guests to a fictional world during the Victorian Age in the Wild West. A place where inventors who struck gold in the Western expansion were now developing new technologies. There was one key feature of this concept that made its way to the land at Epcot in multiple ways. The Western Balloon Ascent was meant to be a Skyway-style attraction that would transport guests from Discovery Bay to the unbuilt Dumbo Circus Land. When Discovery Bay was scrapped from the table, this balloon transport ride concept moved on over to Epcot. The original Land Pavilion was to feature a dark ride where guests would travel through various habitats found on Earth aboard their own hot air balloon ride. In the end, Baxter's idea for this attraction was sadly also scrapped, but a similar version was adapted to the Living with the Land boat ride. And Imagineers would take this concept full circle years later with another e-ticket attraction, where guests would fly over different natural habitats, but this time aboard a hang glider instead of a hot air balloon. The Land Pavilion remains to be the largest Future World Pavilion at Epcot. It is a sprawling 6 acres. In fact, the land is almost the same size as the original Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom. The title of being the largest pavilion in Future World may soon go to the new Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. But for now, just like it was on opening day, the land is the largest pavilion in Future World. Speaking of opening day, it's no secret that Epcot has seen some major changes over the years and will continue to evolve in the near future. However, the land is currently home to one of the very few opening day attractions still in operation at Epcot, Living with the Land. This boat ride through different environments and greenhouse spaces is almost exactly the same as it was when it opened on October 1st, 1982. Now, as I said, the land is a huge pavilion. It's so big that it's the only pavilion in Future World that is host to not 1, but 2 attractions and 2 dining locations, both a quick service restaurant and a table service restaurant. The Seas is home to Coral Reef Restaurant, but lacks a quick service restaurant, and Mission Space will also soon have a similar food setup. So the land is the place to eat in Future World right now. And this pavilion will also soon debut a brand new film, taking the grand total of experiences inside the land up to 3. The new film will be an on-screen exploration of the realm we call home, showcasing the spectacular beauty, diversity, and dynamic story of our Earth. It will be the 3rd film to be screened inside the land, replacing the previous Circle of Life film and the original Symbiosis. Tony Baxter's original design for the land was a complex series of towering crystals. The tallest one would feature an observation deck, where guests could take in breathtaking views of the greenhouse and plant life below. But the entire experience would begin with a guided tour that would actually take guests underground first, before ascending high up into the treetops. And the pavilion would sport its own unique character like imagination with the Landkeeper. Like many Epcot pavilions, budget restraints caused Imagineers to scale back some of these grand ideas. But the final design of the land has subtle hints to this original concept. From afar, you can now see a large hexagon-shaped tower over the treetops of Future World West, just like it did on opening day in 1982. While there is no guided tour that begins below the surface of the Earth, the walkway leading up to the land still tells a similar story. The next time you're headed inside the pavilion, take a moment and notice the murals on each side of the main walkway. The brown and orange colored tiles are meant to represent the many layers of rocks below the ground we walk on. It's a segue from underground to the surface of our planet in a unique and artistic way. From opening day to now, the overall layout and structure of the pavilion is relatively the same. Guests walk into the second level of the pavilion and can see hot air balloons towering above the atrium, each one reflecting the different seasons of the year. And down below are entrances to the pavilion's attractions and Sunshine Seasons, the pavilion's quick service restaurant. It was more colorful and meant to look like a carnival or farmer's market back in the 1980s, but one key element was also located down here that sadly no longer stands today. Kitchen Cabaret was a 14-minute musical revue featuring animatronics shaped like various fruits and vegetables. Since the pavilion was originally sponsored by Kraft, Disney decided to make the show not only entertaining with fun and original music numbers, but also make the show educational by promoting the importance of healthy nutrition. The show was hosted by Bonnie Appetit and features songs such as my personal favorite, Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit, a Latin-esque finale that featured the host hanging from a crescent moon over the band of fruits. It was silly and fun for the little ones, but it did not last very long. In 1994, after Kraft's sponsorship of the pavilion ended and Nestle took over, the show was updated to attract audiences of the 1990s with Food Rocks, a new show that had a similar idea of mixing musical entertainment with a positive message. The story of Food Rocks was that it was a benefit concert promoting healthy nutrition, and again the character animatronics were all in the shape of fruits and vegetables. But the concert would be interrupted by a rock band composed of junk food items called Excess. The songs featured were rewritten covers of hits such as Bohemian Rhapsody and Every Breath You Take by The Police. In the end, Food Rocks ran for a total of 10 years, before being torn down to make way for one of Epcot's most beloved attractions, Soren. Due to the pavilion's focus on agriculture and nutrition, the land is now home to several dining options. Sunshine Seasons is the pavilion's quick service restaurant, and the better option of the two in Future World, in my humble opinion. This sprawling food court has several stations you can choose from and is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In the morning, the offerings are a bit smaller, with a few different breakfast platters, but there's a very good lineup of baked goods here. For lunch and dinner, the restaurant opens 3 main stations and a great dessert section. The stations include an Asian noodle selection, the grill shop, and the sandwich shop. But it really is all about the cupcakes and bakery items, such as the red velvet whoopie pie. If you're looking for healthier options, Sunshine Seasons is a great stop to make for a quick lunch, as long as you skip the sweet stuff. But who can commit to that on a Disney trip, right? And just upstairs is the pavilion's table service restaurant, Garden Grill. Ever since opening in 1982, there has always been a table service restaurant located here on a spinning platform offering views of the boat ride down below. Garden Grill is now a character meal location open for all 3 meals of the day, just like Sunshine Seasons. It features bountiful skillets of food, and Mickey, Pluto, Chip, and Dale all visit you tableside. Garden Grill is an excellent choice if you have picky eaters trying to accommodate a large crowd, but also want to ensure that the whole family leaves very full. In fact, out of all the Epcot character meals, including the nearby resorts, Garden Grill is the best bang for your buck in my opinion. I've never left this restaurant with space in my belly. Breakfast at Garden Grill is my favorite option of the 3 and a great choice to make if you're considering a dining package with a concert at the American Gardens Theater. Mainly because it's the cheapest way to enjoy a meal and score a reserved seat to a show. If you're hoping to catch Candlelight Processional during the holidays, this is an excellent choice. To learn more about Garden Grill, visit my website. I've got a full review of both breakfast and dinner. But let's round out today's mini episode with a look at attractions. Living with the Land is a relaxing 10-minute boat ride that teaches guests about agriculture around the world. As I said earlier, this is an opening day attraction that still upholds Epcot's original theme and glory days of the 1980s. The show scenes and animatronics have remained completely untouched. The only major change to this attraction took place in 1993. The boat ride was originally named Listen to the Land, and it featured a catchy theme song with the same name. The opening scene played the song while guests passed through a scene that featured an abstract interpretation of a plant growing. But by 1993, the song was removed, a cast member no longer guided passengers through the boat ride, and the opening scene was replaced with a more realistic storm sequence. The attraction offers FastPass Plus reservations and is now part of Epcot's Tier 2 FastPass category. I don't usually use a FastPass here, mainly because the line moves pretty quickly. However, on an exceptionally busy day, such as the week of Christmas, it's not unheard of for this attraction to reach a 30-minute wait time. But for most parts of the year, this is an easy attraction to do standby. The second half of the boat ride takes you through an impressive tour of the pavilion's greenhouses, where Disney horticulturists are using new techniques in farming such as hydroponics. If you have a green thumb and want to learn more about the techniques used here, there's a unique backstage tour offered year-round at the Land, the Behind the Scenes Tour. This 1-hour tour gives you a rare, up-close view of the plant life inside the pavilion. One of the scientists working here will be your guide, and it's at a very good price of $25 for adults and $20 for kids. And there are tons of ways to get a discount here too. Annual pass holders, DVC members, Disney Visa card holders, and both retired and active military members all get a 15% discount. I recently took the tour myself for the very first time, and it was a very educational experience looking into the world of agriculture. If you're interested to learn more, I'll leave a link in the description below for my full review. But finally, we arrive to Soarin. This popular Epcot attraction began its run over at Disney California Adventure back in 2001. It was a simple hang glider attraction reflecting the natural beauty of the Golden State, and it was a big hit with park guests. Soren opened at Epcot on May 5, 2005, as part of the Happiest Celebration on Earth promotion. 2005 marked the 50th anniversary of Disney Parks and Disneyland, so various parks around the globe opened up attractions that were already popular at other locations. So in a way, Soren was a gift from California to Florida. And back in 2016, it was updated to Soarin Around the World, taking guests on a fantastic trip around the globe. Now you'll soar over places like the Great Wall of China, glide over Sydney Harbor, and climb to the top of the Matterhorn in the Swiss Alps. The original score was composed by Jerry Goldsmith and is now one of the most recognizable ride themes at Epcot. The 18-time Oscar nominee is most known for composing films such as Patton, Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, and the animated film Mulan. When the attraction was updated in 2016, a new score was produced, but still used Goldsmith's original melody. The combination of his moving score and the gigantic IMAX screen is what makes this attraction so impressive. For me, no trip to Epcot is complete without a ride on Soarin. It is perhaps the one attraction at Disney World that is equally adored by all age groups. Now that Epcot's version has 3 different theaters, the wait times here have drastically improved. On an average day, Soarin Around the World can sometimes hover around a 45-minute wait. I know that sounds long, but it used to be an average of 90 minutes. I do recommend booking a FastPass Plus reservation here, but be warned that if you do, You won't be able to book popular rides such as Test Track or Frozen Ever After in your initial 3 choices. They're all part of Epcot's Tier 1 category, and it's a tough decision to make. This is why I usually recommend 2 days visiting Epcot. If you have a full day in just Future World, I personally would book Test Track for my Tier 1 and do Soren Standby at Rope Drop or towards the end of the night. Only because Test Track usually has a longer wait time. But it is worth noting that you could do the reverse or even utilize the single rider line at Test Track. Either way, Soren is an Epcot must. So there you have it, friends, my full tour exploring the Land Pavilion at Epcot. When I was a young boy, this wasn't the star pavilion of Future World. Kids my age back then were all about imagination or even horizons. But now with additions like Soarin Around the World and good dining options, the Land is a very popular stop to make on a trip to Epcot. As I stated before, stay tuned for the pavilion's next new attraction, the Awesome Planet film. It will feature spectacular nature photography, immersive in-theater effects, and space sequences created by Industrial Light and Magic, the same guys who worked on Star Wars. So we are in for a very good treat. But sadly, that will have to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and like always, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.